Who are the most interesting drivers to watch for the 2023 F1 season? The 2023 market is slowly but surely starting to shape up, as certain drivers have announced their stays in the current teams they drive for. And it would be only natural for them to continue the collaboration since the new regulations caught everyone by surprise, and there is still much more to be unlocked by the constructors. However, some of the drivers may be on the move to other teams simply because of different situations that have transpired between them and their respective teams. So let's cut to the chase and bring out the most interesting drivers that might be on the move for the 2023 video. Stick with us until the very end to find out who they are and where could they possibly depart. Daniel Ricciardo. It goes without saying that Ricciardo's contract is one of the most talked about topics in the F1 as of now. The Aussie hasn't been able to perform in his tenure in McLaren, and the team has started to lose its patience with the Honey Badger. Ricciardo arrived at McLaren in 2021 from Renault, and back then he said that this is the right move for his championship ambitions. That now seems like a very far-fetched wish for Danny, as he is struggling to understand how the McLaren car works. His driving style is also one of the reasons that he is underperforming, as McLaren doesn't act as well as the Red Bull with the late braking situations. This car suits Lando Norris much better, as he's been able to put the veteran in the shade with his performance, being responsible for the majority of the points that McLaren has in the 2022 season. I know what you're thinking, Daniel Ricciardo is under contract until 2023, but the contracts in F1 could be ended prematurely if both the sides agree that this just isn't working. Why do we believe this isn't working? Well, Zach Brown himself said that he is very disappointed by the results of Danny, and even Ricciardo himself is unsatisfied with how he performed so far. True, he has been the faster driver in Baku and was able to be the faster teammate in Montreal, but in Canada, Lando had serious problems with his car, and the pit stop that took forever just stole his chances for scoring some much-needed points. Even though Ricciardo is slowly but surely improving his pace, his departure from the team is very likely. Possible swaps between AlphaTauri and McLaren have transpired, but Gasly has continued his contract for one more year in Alpha. That leaves Ricciardo with a choice between Alpine and Williams, as there is one driver we'll talk about that is likely to sit in the Williams seat. With that being said, his only hope is for Alpine, but it's unlikely that the team will commit to him, knowing that they have a youngster from F2 that is waiting for his chance in F1. So the future of Ricciardo is very foggy, as it's up to us to wait and see how things will transpire. Sebastian Vettel. Vettel's move to Aston Martin in 2021 was a very exciting one. He was coming out of a couple of bad seasons in Ferrari, and knowing what Aston Martin, also known as Racing Point up until 2020, is capable of, everybody thought that he would be able to compete for higher places on the grid. Championship hopes were a little unrealistic, but having Vettel consistently in the points grade was the realistic expectation. However, the 2021 and start of the 2022 season have been nothing short of miserable for this team, and this could see Vettel exiting the team sooner rather than later. The 2022 start of the season has been a nightmare for Seb. He missed the first two races for Aston Martin, being replaced by Nico Hülkenberg, and has crashed on his return in Australia. From here on, Vettel has managed to pick up some pace, considering the fact that he is driving a car that is unable to deliver much. He has scored a point in Monaco and some decent points in Imola and Baku. If it wasn't for the late collision with Mick Schumacher in Miami, Vettel would have scored yet another point. The comforting fact is that he's outperforming his teammate, who is his boss's son, Lance Stroll. A couple of questions transpire here. The first one is this what Vettel wants, fighting for P10 and waiting for mistakes to climb to P6 or 7? And the other one is, does Aston Martin believe he's the best driver available out there for their team? True, the team is very much struggling with performance now, and lots of controversies always travel around them. The latest one was that they stole Red Bull's side pod design, and it brought them zero to no improvement in its performance. Earlier in the season, Vettel said that if you're not in a position to fight for wins, for championships and for positions, the taste to drive isn't the same and you need a different sort of motivation. He then said that if the team doesn't improve its pace and performance, he is likely to be out of it and possibly retire if no other option transpires. So it's up to us to wait and see if Aston Martin will be able to unlock some hidden performance and there pursue Seb for yet another year. Fernando Alonso. Everybody was extremely happy when they saw Alonso back in F1. At his age, he has been nothing short of phenomenal, and that was proven by his qualifying pace in Montreal. The Spaniard has been able to place himself at the front row for the first time since 2012, and although he didn't manage to maintain his pace on Sunday, he's shown that Alpine can be decent competitors. His deal isn't still secured for 2023, and even if the team somehow decides that they want to move in another direction, Alonso said that he'd love to race for a couple more years in F1, no matter if it's for Alpine or not. Now, it's likely that Alpine will keep Alonso for 2023, especially with the new talks that have recently arisen regarding Oscar Piastri and his entry into F1. But we'll talk about that later in the video, as now we're focusing on Alonso. If it's up to Alonso to choose whether he'll race for Alpine or not, staying here is by far the best option. Not many teams can offer him what Alpine does, and with the new regulations, the team could become better with time. Alonso currently has 18 points, and compared to Ocon, that is 21 less, as the Frenchman has 39 points. However, Alonso had a couple of DNFs this year, such as in Saudi Arabia, caused by a broken water pump, and in Imola, where the collision with Schumacher left him with serious damage to the side pods and the floor. Alonso also had some time penalties that cost him points, such as in Miami and Montreal. So, if the Spaniard can find some more pace in his Alpine, then it's guaranteed that he'll stay for at least 1 to 2 years in Alpine. However, it's still unsure and unclear if this is the direction that both he and the team want to move in, so it's up to us to wait and see what the next move for Alonso will be. Oscar Piastri. The F2 driver also has the role of a reserve driver for Alpine. This is why everybody expected him to sign with Alpine as soon as possible, but an alternative, much better situation has emerged for him. There is a strong possibility that Piastri will drive in Williams alongside Albon, as Alpine will let him on a loan here so that he can gain much-needed experience for when his time with Alpine comes. Along with this, Williams will be accepting Renault as their engine supplier, as it will end a long collaboration with Mercedes. With the budget cap, this would be amazing for Mercedes, and Williams could find some pace and performance in the Renault engine, especially with both young drivers exploiting it the most. This is a very likely possibility to happen for the 2023 season because Nicolas Latifi is by far the most disappointing driver on the grid. True, his father is the owner of Safina, the food company that is also the main sponsor of Williams, but the status of paid driver isn't just working for the team, as they are struggling much compared to other drivers. The only 3 points that they've scored are thanks to Albon, and therefore the team wants to place a young and prospective driver alongside Albon, who has more F1 experience compared to Piastri. The team will likely look for another sponsor, but considering the fact that this is F1, a sport that draws a lot of attention, it shouldn't be a problem. With the potential of both their drivers, Williams may look like an attractive market for the 2023 season. That is, if they decide to pull the plug on Piastri and replace Latifi with him. The 2023 season seems like a very interesting one by far regarding drivers and their places in teams. Of course, it won't have the shake-up that 2022 brought, with Mercedes placing Russell alongside Hamilton and Bottas leaving for Alfa Romeo, and Albon making his F1 return. Here is the other Alfa driver, Zhu, who received lots of backlashes before the season started due to his potential pay driver status, but he has been able to drive amazingly for Alfa. However, seeing new faces in 2023 is likely possible, and even old faces in new teams are a strong possibility. So it's up to us to wait and see how things will transpire in the future, as we cannot wait for the 2023 season to start. Until then, let's enjoy the excitement that the 2022 season brought us, with the new regulative and teams being more competitive than last year.